Hey guys, what's up? So, I am now here to do the first of the Sumo Terminology. And today, what we are going to look at is we are going to look at the ranks in professional sumo wrestling. The ranks that the Rikishi hold, the different divisions, and then when we get to the top division, the ranks that go with the top division. So let's get this started. I hope you guys like what I'm about to do. So, the first rank that we're going to talk about is Jonokuchi. Jonokuchi, the definition that I got from Wikipedia, excuse me, an expression meaning this is only the beginning, the lowest division of sumo. Jonokuchi is the lowest division. All wrestlers, apart from those who have had successful amateur careers and are given special disposition to enter Makushita or Sandanme directly, start in this division. In addition to the new wrestlers, the division tends to consist of other recent recruits to sumo wrestling, as well as some older wrestlers who have fallen to the bottom of the ranks due to prolonged injury. Okay, so the next rank we have is Jonidan. Jonidan is the 5th highest division. Unlike the division above it, there is no fixed number of wrestlers in this division, although it is usually the largest division in any given tournament, and commonly around 200-250 wrestlers ranked within it. As a result of the numbers, and the fact that, as with the other lower divisions, the wrestlers only fight 7 times during a tournament, a playoff on the last day is normally required to determine the division champion. Wrestlers in this division are forbidden from wearing overcoats over their cotton yukata, even in winter, and must wear geta on their feet. They often also pick up many of the more mundane chores within the training stable in which they live. Okay, the next rank is Sandanme. Sandanme is the 4th highest division. This level represents the first break point in the treatment a wrestler receives as he rises up the rank. From Sandanme, he is allowed a better quality of dress. Most notably, he no longer needs to wear geta on his feet and can wear an overcoat over his yukata. However, the wrestlers are still considered to be in training, receiving only an allowance rather than a salary. There is typically a set number of 200 wrestlers in Sandanme, and as the other divisions below Joryo, wrestlers only compete in 7 bouts held roughly every other day. The next rank is Makushita. Makushita is the 3rd highest division. Prior to the creation of the Joryo division, this division was only one below the topmost Makuuchi division, meaning inside the curtain. Hence, Makushita literally meaning below shita, the curtain, maku. In the current system, there are 120 wrestlers in the division, 60 ranked on the east and 60 on the west of the Banzuke. Unlike the Sekitori ranks above them, wrestlers compete only 7 times during a tournament. It is often considered that holding the rank of Makushita is the first step towards becoming a professional Sekitori ranked sumo wrestler. Furthermore, it can be regarded as the most heavily contested division, with younger sumo wrestlers on their way up, competing with those older sumo wrestlers who have dropped from Joryo and are determined to regain the high rank. A key incentive is the difference between being ranked in the topmost Makushita slot versus the lowest Joryo rank, which has been linked to being the between heaven and hell. A wrestler ranked at Makushita or lower is expected to carry out chores for the stable and the sekitori within it, whereas the Juryo wrestler will be served upon. Similarly, the Juryo wrestlers receive a comfortable monthly salary, whereas a wrestler below Makushita still only receives a small living allowance. Okay, next division is Juryo. Juryo is the second highest division and is fixed at 28 wrestlers. The name is delivered from Tenryo, which was previously the income a wrestler ranked in this division could expect to receive. Wrestler in the Makuuchi division above are known as Sekitori. The official name of the division is actually Jumeme and can be heard in official announcements and seen in some publications, but within and without the sumo world, it is almost universally known as Juryo. Juryo wrestlers, like those in the top Makuuchi division, receive a regular monthly salary, as well as other perks associated with having become a sekitori, or a member of the two upper divisions in sumo. Sumo wrestlers ranked in this division, in the divisions below Juryo, are considered to be in training and receive a small allowance instead of a salary. Juryo wrestlers, along with their Makuuchi counterparts, are the only professional sumo wrestlers who compete in a full 15 bouts per official tournament. In the case of injuries, with Makuuchi wrestlers pulling out, Juryo wrestlers near the top of the division may find themselves in the occasional matchup with the top division wrestler. Such Juryo Makuuchi match are also not uncommon towards the end of a sumo tournament in order to better establish promotion and relegation of individuals between the two divisions. As once a wrestler is promoted to Juryo, he is considered a professional with a significant salary and privilege significant salary and privileges. Promotees to Juryo are announced just a few days after a preceding tournament, whereas other rankings are not announced for several weeks. Okay, the final division is the Makuuchi division. Makuuchi is the top division. It is fixed at 42 wrestlers who are ranked according to their ability, as defined by their performance in previous tournaments. At the top of the divisions are the title holders or champions, called the Sanyaku, comprising of Yokozuna, Ozeki, Sekewake, and Komosubi. There are typically 8 to 12 wrestlers in these ranks, with the remainder called Maegashira, ranked in numerical order from 1 downwards. This is the only division that is featured on standard NHK live coverage of sumo tournaments and is broadcast bilingually. The latter part of the lower divisions is shown on satellite coverage. The name Makuuchi literally means inside the curtain, a reference to the early period of professional sumo when the top-ranked wrestlers were able to sit in a curtained-off area prior to appearing for their bouts. Confusingly, Makuuchi can also refer to the top two divisions, Makuuchi and Juryo, as a whole, as the wrestlers in these divisions are salaried and considered fully salaried professionals as opposed to in training. Now we're going to go through the ranks of Makuuchi. First, there's Maegashira. Maegashira is the lowest of 5 ranks in the top Makuuchi division. All the Makuuchi wrestlers who are not ranked in Sanyaku are ranked as Maegashira, numbered from 1 at the top downwards. In each rank there are 2 wrestlers. The higher ranked is designated as East and the lower as West. So number 1 East is treated as a higher rank than number 1 West, and so on. The number of wrestlers in Makuuchi is fixed at 42 since 2004, but the number in Sanyaku is not. Thus, the number of Maegashira wrestlers can vary, but is typically between 15 and 17. This gives a Makuuchi division split of around 10 Sanyaku and 32 Maegashira. Movement within the Maegashira ranks can be minor to extreme depending on a wrestler's score in the previous 15-bout tournament. For example, a Maegashira 2 who has an 8-7 record might only be promoted 1 level to Maegashira 1 for the next tournament. Conversely, a Maegashira 14 that wins the division could be promoted as high as Komosubi. Indeed, this happened in March 2000 when Takatoriki of the Futaga Yoma stable won the championship with a 13-2 record. Maegashira ranked 5 or above are likely to only fight amongst themselves unless their winning record in the middle of a tournament prompts their scheduling with high-ranked wrestlers, while those ranked Maegashira 4 or above are likely to have several matches against Sanyaku wrestlers, including Ozeki and Yokozuna. When a Maegashira defeats a Yokozuna, it is called a gold star, or Kimboshi, and he is rewarded monetarily for the victory for the remainder of his career. A bout where a wrestler earns a Kimboshi defeat of a Yokozuna generally causes great excitement at a sumo venue, and it is common and expected for audience members to throw their seat cushions, zabuton, into the ring and onto the wrestlers. After such a bout, though, this is technically prohibited. The next rank is Komosubi, Little Knot, the 4th highest rank of sumo wrestling and the lowest Sanyaku rank. Literally means the little knot, the knot referring to the matchup between 2 wrestlers. It is the 4th highest rank in sumo wrestling and is the lowest of the so-called title holder ranks or Sanyaku. It is also the lowest rank where achieving a kachikoshi, winning record in a tournament, is no longer sufficient to guarantee promotion to a higher rank. Promotion to the next highest rank, sekewake, depends on either a space being available, which is quite common, or having at least 11 wins in the previous tournament if no normal sekewake slot is available. The general requirement can be seen by the promotion of Tochi Ozan to the 3rd sekewake slot for March 2014 with 11 wins, when the other 2 sekewake had winning records, while Tochinoshin was not promoted with 10 wins for November 2015 in a similar situation. The next rank is sekewake. Sekewake is the 3rd highest rank in professional sumo wrestling and is one of the Sanyaku ranks. The term is believed to derive from guarding the ozeki at his side. It represents the highest rank a wrestler can achieve by continuously making a kachikoshi, a winning record in tournaments. Promotion to sekewake depends on either a space being available, which is quite common, or having a record in the previous tournament that is very convincing, typically 10-5 or better, as a komosubi. There are special promotion criteria for the next highest rank of ozeki, typically a minimum of 33 wins over 3 tournaments, and merely recording consecutive winning records at sekewake is not enough to advance. In the 1980s, Sakahoko stayed at Sekewake for 9 consecutive tournaments without even getting close to Ozeki consideration. And Goeido was stuck at the rank for 14 consecutive, a modern-day record tournament between May 2012 and July 2014, before being promoted to Ozeki in September 2014. Unlike the higher ranks of Ozeki and Yokozuna, one will nearly always lose the rank immediately after having a Make Koshi tournament, a losing record during a tournament. Very occasionally, however, a lucky Sekewake might keep his rank, even with a 7 and 8 record, if there are no obvious candidates to replace him, i.e. the Komusubi and the Upper Magashira have also had losing records. This has happened 5 times since the 6 tournaments a year era began in 1958. Most recently with Goeido in July 2013. In each case, the wrestler was merely moved from the Sekewake East rank to the less prestigious West side. Okay, so as you guys can see, I'm kind of in a different spot, and it's ultimately because I'm doing each of these videos individually, and I'm just going to edit them together. But I'm now going to do the last 2 ranks together, and that is Ozeki, which ultimately stands for Great Barrier, but usually translated as champion. It's the 2nd highest rank of sumo. Now, as an Ozeki, if you have a losing record, you can get what's called Karoban status. Basically, it means you're in, you have the possibility of getting demoted if you don't get a Kachikoshi in the next tournament. If you get your Kachikoshi, obviously you're safe. Excuse me. Obviously, as an Ozeki, you know, you're treated not exactly like a king, but like a prince. The next rank, however, is where you're treated like a king. Yokozuna. Yokozuna stands for horizontal rope. The top rank in sumo, usually translated Grand Champion. The name comes from the rope a Yokozuna wears for the Dohyo Iri. Now, the Dohyo Iri is his ring entering ceremony. The current 3 Yokozuna actually get their own ring entering ceremony. All the other Rikishi have to come out together for the East and the West, and they do their own Dohyo Iri ring entering ceremony. Now, the other thing too is, as a Yokozuna, you can never be demoted. From Ozeki down to the lowest Magashira, they can all be promoted and demoted. As a Yokozuna, if you start to constantly have Makikoshi or losing records, the Sumo Association pretty much will force you to retire. Now, that's pretty much it, as I've gone through all the divisions and the top ranks of sumo. I hope this will help you out as we go through and you see, and you hear me talk about all the different ranks and everything when I do my my recap. So until then, I will say sayonara. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Took me a while to make, but you know what, I had fun doing it. I will come back, I don't know when, but I will do more sumo terminology. And maybe what I'll actually do is, maybe I'll have some fun. Maybe what I'll do is I'll start using some of this too, to maybe help some of my friends with kanji and katakana and everything like that. You know, we'll see. But until then, I will say sayonara.